well, if they're in a bad position, they're going to say, gosh, if I don't go to work, I won't eat today. If I don't go to work, I won't get money that I need to do what I need to do. If I don't go to work, I'm going to experience extreme pain, the extreme pain of financial insecurity, homelessness, broke acidness, if you want to call it that. I'm going to experience these things. So to avoid these things, they're going to go to work every day. And I think that there is a big difference between doing something because you desire a better experience or a better life or a better feeling versus doing something because you're trying to avoid the pain of the bad feeling. And that's what I think a lot of us do. I think that what drives a lot of us, especially when you don't prepare, especially when you don't think ahead, is when you don't have investor vision. Um, what drives a lot of people is pain avoidance. Like, think about it. Do you know that some of the most disciplined guys I know are guys who spent a long time in prison? And again, incarceration affected so many of our families. It took trillions of dollars out of the black community. Um, so I'm very sensitive to incarceration. It's happened in my family way too. My father went to prison. My uncle, who was my role model, he was like my older brother. I remember when he went to prison, and it broke him psychologically so bad that he was just mentally gone. And it was very tough. It's very tough when the person, your number one person on earth, the person you look up to, the person you follow around, your mentor is just broken down to the point where he's such a broken little boy that you have to become the man. And I'm only 9 years old, 10 years old, trying to figure out how to become the man when he's 8 years older than me. And I'm looking to him for advice. And I find out that that's not good information. I can't follow him anymore. Do you understand? So me and him transitioned from mentee. I've transitioned from mentee to being the leader of our relationship when I was about 11 or 12 years old. It was really hard to do. And so that's what prison does to black families, in case you don't know. But anyway, but some of the most disciplined guys are guys who spent a lot of time in prison. And you think about it, right? Some of them, not everybody, but some guys were knuckleheads before they went to jail. Couldn't tell them nothing, couldn't control them for nothing, and whatever, right? So how do you go from being a a wild knucklehead to being super disciplined, and in prison you're walking in line, and you don't misstep, you don't speak out of turn, you do exactly what you're supposed, you do your chores when you're supposed to. Well, a lot of that is due to pain avoidance. What happens is that because they're in that situation, they pretty much say, look, we don't care about you. I don't love you like your mama does. If you get out of line, I'm gonna put this bat upside your head, or I'm going to electrocute you, or you might get shot, or whatever. So if you don't follow instructions, there's going to be lots of pain, right? And so when that happens, a lot of people, that's when they become disciplined. They become disciplined when it gets to the point where they're being disciplined to avoid pain, as opposed to being disciplined to experience something that they desire, to get something good. And so what I really want for your kids, and I'm going to get to a little bit more to the topic in a second, but what I really want for your kids is I want them to be able to not have to simply wait until it's too late, to the point where they're getting up and going to work every day and working hard just to avoid the pain of not having enough money. Do you understand? There's so many people who work hard every day because they are scared, and they are traumatized by the fear of not having enough. Right? I don't want you to experience that. I want you to work hard because you are excited about all the possibilities that come with financial freedom and possibility in your life. I want your children to get that while they're young, so they're not 45 years old trying to play catch up. Do you understand? Right? So this is one of the reasons why I think that one bridge builder might be to simply pay them to do the stuff that they're supposed to do. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I don't think there's anything wrong with paying kids to learn. A Harvard professor, Professor Roland Fryer, who I respect, he's interesting. His story is really fascinating. Harvard really did him just so dirty, but then again, though, that's what happens when you kind of become committed to these institutions. So in that regard, I kind of think it's like a funny story. But he's a great economist, and one thing that he found in the study was that when you pay kids to learn, guess what? They want to learn more because they're connecting the reward of money with knowledge. I think that that's fine. So anyway, let me jump into what I wanted to share with you. So what I did was I saw this list of colleges that have the graduates with the highest pay, and I'm gonna read that list to you, and then I'm going to also tell you which majors pay the most money, in case this is of interest to you. And then I'm going to give you a little secret. I'm going to tell you about a major that pays 10 times more than all these majors in here. And I think that, and this is what's going to really be the kicker for our conversation. So let me mention to you, this is the list of the schools that pay the most money. You ready? All right. So MIT pay the average make a graduate makes 91,000. Stanford $90,900. Harvard Mudd College, who knew? $85,600. Princeton 83.9. University of Pennsylvania 78.2. Harvard 81.5. Caltech 74.8. Carnegie Mellon 89. The Naval Academy 82.9. Santa Clara University 76.9. Okay. Now, um, now, here are the majors that pay the most money, in case you want to know, in case you want to tell your kids. A lot of you have kids and grandkids going to college. Okay. Petroleum engineering, let's see, electrical engineering and computer science, applied economics and management, operations research is number four. Operations research that specialists in this field use advanced mathematical and analytical methods to solve decision-making problems, leading to high compensation. Next, number five is public accounting. Number six is chemical engineering. Number seven is quantitative business analysis. Number eight is pharmacy. Number nine is aeronautics and astronautics. Wow, focusing on the design and development of aircraft and spacecraft. This major appeals to those interested in aviation and space exploration. Okay, all right. So, and this came from College Mind Degree Choices and Kiplinger.com. Okay, so there we go. So we have the top colleges that pay the most money and the top majors to pick if you want to make money. And this really is the nuance of my position on college. You guys have heard me talk about college before, and if you've listened to that conversation, you'll know that I'm not anti-college at all. I think college is a great experience, but I am concerned about the number of people that go to college and don't pick a major that is going to give them an adequate livelihood. A lot of people go to college and it's a 4-year party with step shows and everything else, and next thing you know, they have a big pile of debt and nothing in their resume that makes an employer want to even consider hiring them. There's nothing about going to college for 4 years that will make an employer, and I am an employer, I employ lots of people, that will make an employer want to hire you. You have to have skill. You have to have some sort of ability that helps to solve an important problem that will help the employer to achieve their goal, right? And so that piece of paper only means as much as it actually means. And so for some people, they don't know because they're first generation. That piece of paper means absolutely nothing. If I know that all you did was go to college and major in something worthless and spend 4 years going to step shows, which is why college attendance has been one of the great wealth drainers of the Black community because college is very expensive. Half of all Black college graduates default on their student loans. When they default on their student loans, that means they have bad credit. If you have bad credit, that means it's much harder for you to do the things that actually build wealth, like buy real estate, start businesses, invest in stocks, things like that. And so on top of that, their incomes and salaries are much lower than what they anticipated them to be. And because the economy is to some extent somewhat rigged if you don't understand how it works. Okay. But because again, as an economic scientist, I hope to share some things with you that will help you to deal with this. Now, here's what I'm going to say to you. I read that list to you. And there's a part of me that if you had talked to me at the age of 30, I would have read this list very enthusiastically. At the age of 30, I was working on a book called Everything You Ever Wanted to Know About College. The book is out there. I wanted to take everything I'd learned from teaching college students for all those years and just blast it onto a bunch of pages and say, hey, look, here's the secrets. Here's what you need to know. I sat there with one of my daughter's friends and talked to her about college. And I said, look, here's how you make straight A's. It's not hard. All you got to do is make sure you study 4 hours a day. If you go to work, you're going to work 8 or 9 hours a day. So go to a quiet, well-lit location, sit there for 4 or 5 hours a day, just like it's a job, and you're going to blow away all your classmates. I said, number two, don't procrastinate. Most college students will make it easy for you to destroy them grade-wise because a big chunk of them are going to wait until the last minute. They're going to try to learn a month's worth of stuff in 3 days, which never works.